any kind of a victim, you're a victim of a market that's crazy right now, right? The American dream is not gone. The American dream is still there. And what I would suggest you do is make a plan. Maybe that plan includes moving 2 more times before you get your dream home. Not everybody walks right into their oceanfront property and lives on the beach. I mean, sometimes you do have to you buy a trailer. Laugh at me all you want. You bought a trailer, you bought it for $50,000, you fix it up, you sold it for $75,000. Now you got $25,000 extra. Now you buy a single family home. You buy that single family home, flip it, maybe make $150,000. And all of a sudden, over the next 5 years, your goal is to flip 5 houses. And then you walk up and yes, the mountain house now is 600 instead of 400, but you're writing out a check, you're paying cash.
3,000 some upvotes. People are not happy. They're all throwing in the towels. I'm a teacher and a husband is blue collar, decided to sign our lease again on a 1-bedroom for $1,300 a month. We were only approved for $280,000. My mom said, well, you're a married man with only a high school diploma. Never mind that she married a man with only a high school diploma. And they had 3 kids, houses, cars, and vacations. Sure, some of you can commiserate with me in feelings like millennials got effed. Also, keep your bootstrap feelings to yourself. This is not the post for that.
That's kind of interesting. I hear that quite a bit. They're not quite getting what we had, but the other thing is we never got what they had either. We never had the ability to do what they're doing or understand what's going on. I mean, Andy, would you ever have thought you could travel around the world, live at beaches and drink out of wine bottles rather than wine glasses and maybe spend $1,000 a month doing that?
It's still not a reality for me, Chris. And I know a lot of people love to commiserate in misery. Oh my God. In our generation, and I get it. Every generation's had their opportunity to get screwed. I mean, look back at your grandparents, look at immigrants, look at the countries they came from where they were, either peasants or they couldn't own houses or there was laws against, they couldn't vote because they weren't landowners. There's always been a certain stigma to every market everywhere. What I would say to you is this: if you look at our U.S. facts, National Association of Real Estate, there's a figure that I follow called the Affordability Index. So those that choose to work, some of every generation chooses not to work, but those that are working are making wages now that are so much higher than they were. Interest rates are historically in the bottom, and houses are going up in value, keeping up with inflation. All that put together says it's still like the 1950s and 60s right now for affordability. It's still some of the most affordable times to buy and secure and lock up a home. What I'd say is this: if you spend too much time crying about it, what's going to happen is you're going to miss your opportunity. When rates are back up, I wouldn't be shocked at all if in 2 years rates are up at 8, 9, 10%, and the economy's fluttering, and you're going to say, damn, I missed the window. So what I would do if I was a younger person right now that had a great job, I'd have the deposit. And this is what's funny too. A lot of people think millennials are broke. Millennials are coming to me all the time buying brand new $700,000 houses, and they're putting $350,000 cash down, and they have normal jobs. These are people that are, well, I shouldn't say normal. They're above normal. They're IT. They're physician's assistants. They're people that are making good money, putting good chunks of money down and having very low payments. I mean, the average payment's like under $2,000 a month right now. And I'm talking about for people even buying these $700,000 and $800,000 houses. And so looking from the outside in, people look at those people and go, oh, they're rich people. Or did they take advantage of the market, get a couple of big bonus checks, sell a house that they made $200,000 on an equity, and apply all of that instead of blowing it on a new boat, took all that money and actually applied it towards their next purchase, locked in a great interest rate and got a brand new beautiful home. And they're planning on living there for a long time because they have young kids. I don't subscribe 100% to that. If people were like unemployed right now and there was no jobs and the interest rates were at 15%, then I'd say you're right. I still look at there's wonderful opportunities for people to take advantage of one of, I think, is still historically going to be one of the best times that we've seen.
If you went to college and you maybe didn't participate in that degree, made you the ratio of money to be able to pay for those student loans that you probably took, maybe traveled all over the world and did semesters in Switzerland. Can I speak on a political platform for a second? Oh, boy.
If you're a school that provides a degree that cannot support the cost to get that degree should be subsidized by that university. If you truly believe in that program and you believe in that skill set and you think the world needs it, and you're setting people up to fail, charging them $100,000 a year to go to a college, and then they get out of school and make $35,000 a year. You want to talk about stupid decisions? I mean, that's straight up not there. Unless you have somebody sponsoring you to get you through college because they believe in what you're doing, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in that, right? I've seen that before where there's philanthropy all over the place where people take a vow of helping, certain maybe young kids or whatever, and they don't make a lot of money doing that. So there's people that subsidize and help them. I just think that's crazy to me. Right now, you could go to the tech school, learn a trade, electrical trade. I could start you at probably $38 an hour on a crew, and you'd be working 50, 60 hours a week with full benefits.
How would you respond to this person? Because I'm going to clip this video and I'm going to post it on Reddit. It feels like we'll never be able to afford a home. I am depressed. I hate this market. We are mountain people, and that is a requirement. I Google cheap mountain places to live, proceed to look at homes for sale in each one, filter by less than 400,000, which is still our price range, and watch every halfway decent home appear. I have excelled in my field and make more money than I should. My boyfriend is making fairly average money. We want to build a life and stop throwing rent money away. This is beyond frustrating and sad, especially seeing the price my parents paid when they bought our house just 15 years ago, even corrected for inflation.
Let's talk about the rent portion of that and what they're paying in that. You got to have alternatives, and you got to kind of maybe think a little differently or adapt to what the situation is. Maybe move out a little, open up your criteria a little, and start moving out. And that's what people are doing, is they're finding something. But I'll tell you what, if you want everything that you already have because you want to be 2 minutes from a grocery store and you want to be able to ride your bike to your office, you're going to have to pay for it. But maybe you move out just a little ways and you take the train up in the mountain. I mean, I would assume, we don't have mountains around here, but I would assume that's there's an advantage in which to do that. And you got to keep going too. You lose and, oh boy, I lost out. But I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how many times I've had multiple offers on our stuff. And if there wasn't just one person that went crazy, these people would have bought this house for a very normal price. And when I say went crazy, maybe it's listed at $299,900. There's a lot of realtors out there and people saying that's at least $350. Don't even go look at it. Here's the thing. I mean, I just had one, and maybe you need to do a little fixing up and stuff like that. But we had one. We had like 50 showings. It was at $299,900. And it needed some work. People had a hard time looking past it. We ended up having 2 offers on the whole thing. Everyone thought it was going to be multiple offers. We're going to have 30, 40, 50 of them. And we ended up getting $299,900. And even I thought it was going to go at least $320 to $330. You can't give up.
That's what I love about when I was that age too, I'm assuming they're a little younger, and they have big dreams and they have, expectations because of what they've seen growing up. You got to remember, every generation is going to have their opportunities. Every generation, like for an example, maybe their grandparents, were the ones that, what are you kids doing buying this, 40-acre plot of land 10 miles out of town? You guys know how it's going to be horrible. You're going to be away from everybody. You're not going to see anything. And all of a sudden, that grandparent now sells their property for $7 million because it's in the middle of a housing tract that now is in front of development. What I would suggest to that individual is, not everything comes to us easy, and I'm sure you're experiencing that. If any kind of a victim, you're a victim of a market that's crazy right now, right? The American dream is not gone. The American dream is still there. And what I would suggest you do is make a plan. Maybe that plan includes moving 2 more times before you get your dream home. Not everybody walks right into their oceanfront property and lives on the beach. I mean, sometimes you do have to you buy a trailer. Laugh at me all you want. You bought a trailer, you bought it for $50,000, you fix it up, you sold it for $75,000. Now you got $25,000 extra. Now you buy a single family home. You buy that single family home, flip it, maybe make $150,000. And all of a sudden, over the next 5 years, your goal is to flip 5 houses. And then you walk up and yes, the mountain house now is $600 instead of $400, but you're writing out a check, you're paying cash. There's lots of strategy behind that. Or maybe there's a rare opportunity where rates in the future dip. And if you're prepared to take advantage of a dip, meaning you've got everything lined up, your financing's lined up, that dip hits and wham, you hit it. And all of a sudden, sometimes there is a little bit of luck there too. And I wish them very well, because I see a lot of my families too where they get frustrated. And some people have family resources that others don't, where mom and dad say, I'll kick you in an extra $40,000 to go over